Golden State Warriors haven't exactly started off the season to the nicest beat. But again, it's only the beginning of the season, and the Warriors can easily turn around the bad play with a couple of tweaks and changes. As a result, let's talk about some New Year's resolutions, since the new year is around the corner, that the Warriors should try and improve upon. It'd be easy to say that players such as Andrew Wiggins and Kelly Oubre need to play better, especially considering how bad Kelly has started off shooting the ball. But the problems that the Warriors have are way more than just one or two individual players. So let's talk about their defense first. I mentioned in an earlier video before that Golden State wasn't a good defensive team last year, ranking as the 26th best defensive team in the league, with a 113 defensive rating. So far this season, they somehow managed to be even worse than last year, at 118.5. But with this being said, as James Wiseman best described it, Draymond Green is a huge component to their defensive scheme, and when he comes back, their defense will be able to improve by a noticeable amount. However, one player, even as good as defensively minded Draymond Green is, won't be able to change a bottom half group to a playoff defensive team. The Golden State Warriors, in my opinion, need to drastically attempt to sign a free agent that is able to shoot the ball, but can also play great defense. And this is where Demarre Carroll enters in. Andre Robertson is the best defender available in free agency, but considering how bad the Warriors have started the season with spreading the floor, I think it's best to say that Robertson should be a swerve for now. As for Carroll, he's gotten up there in age and he hasn't received that many minutes when he was still on an NBA roster with the Rockets. But this was the same dude with the Nets, who was able to shoot 41% from 3 and had the team's second best defensive rating besides for Jared Allen, when he actually got consistent minutes. But let's just suppose that Carroll isn't the route that the Warriors want to go with. Another free agent that is still available that can provide a mighty punch defensively would be Luke Mbah-a-Moute. The main problem with Luke is that he hasn't been able to stay healthy, dealing with nagging injury after injury, but when he's healthy, he's a damn good defender. Just infer from this one simple but eye-opening stat. In the 2017-2018 season, when both PJ Tucker and Luke Mbah-a-Moute were on the floor, the Rockets were a plus 29.2 net rating better, and they tied the Celtics with the best points per possession in the league at 103.4. It really doesn't matter who the Warriors go out and sign, as long as they're able to target a 3-and-D defender. Now, after addressing the most concerning area that the Warriors need to fix, they need to find some serious changes in being able to make shots. As mentioned before, all the talk is about how Wiggins and Oubre aren't able to make shots. But even Stephen Curry has struggled to spread the floor. The whole team has shot 25% from the field in the first 2 games. This wouldn't work for any NBA team, let alone a team such as the Warriors who want to make the playoffs. Obviously, this probably won't last long, because after all, it's players such as Stephen Curry who has shot so well throughout the years that would be able to right the ship. But the picture is clear, they need better shooters around the floor. But this one, they don't actually need to sign a free agent. The second New Year's resolution that the Golden State Warriors need to implement is that they need to give Micheal Mulder more minutes at this present moment. As Steve Kerr himself best described it, Micheal has worked hard to make this team, and even though Kerr hasn't given him the type of minutes that some may expect, he works hard to try and impress the coaching staff and make sure to take advantage of the few minutes that he gets. And so far this season, Micheal has done just exactly that. In only 7 minutes against the Nets, which by the way was the lowest amount of minutes for any Warrior that game, he ironically shot the best, going 3 for 3 from the field and 2 for 2 from the 3-point line. Against the Bucks, he didn't shoot the ball well, going 1 for 4. But in total, in the 2 games so far, Micheal has shot 3 for 6 from the 3-point line, which is the second best so far for the Warriors, yet he's only playing 12.5 minutes per game. Does this mean that Micheal should get 30 to 35 minutes a night? Obviously, no, because he does present a defensive liability at times. But until Kelly Oubre can get acquainted with the system, and others start to make their shots, Micheal deserves at least 20 to 25 minutes per game. The final New Year's resolution that the Golden State Warriors should try to implement: please use James Wiseman more on the offensive end, especially when it's not garbage time. This one isn't so much as bad as the first two resolutions that the Warriors need to make, but I wanted to end the video on a good note. Wiseman in the closing minutes of both games produced very well and seems to be as advertised coming out of the draft. He has the height, the vertical, and the athleticism to be able to last and contribute for a very long time in the NBA. But Wiseman has already been able to show components to his game that, including myself, I didn't believe he had at this time. Wiseman being able to handle the ball and spread the floor are areas to his game that the Warriors need to take advantage upon. Wiseman, besides Micheal, has been the Warriors' best 3-point shooter, making 4 of his 5 attempts from 3, and as shown in the Nets game, he can bring up the ball in a full or half-court setting. Even though he may be a bit reckless with the ball in his hand, you can't teach that handle with that size in a center like that. Once the defense pays more attention towards Wiseman's ability to spread the floor, he has already shown to be a great diver towards the rim off screens and is great at rim running down the floor. At this current moment, there should be no excuses as to why the Warriors don't go to him more often, other than garbage time. Absolutely no excuses. He's too good not to be utilized more. But in conclusion, here's the New Year's resolutions that the Warriors should make. It's not as bad as many people believe, but if the Warriors take these steps, I believe that they'll be playing better basketball in only a matter of time. Let me know what you guys think. Until next time, peace.